Good morning, this is High Peak Climbing Club. How can I help you?
Oh, hello, good morning. Yes, I'm having a birthday party next month, and, well, we were thinking it would be good fun to spend an afternoon learning to climb. We're all beginners, by the way. We've never done anything like this before. So I was hoping you could give me a few details about your club.
Of course. What would you like to know?
Well, the first question, I suppose, is do you teach beginners?
Yes, that's no problem. About half of our customers are beginners, actually. How many of would be there?
Well, of course, I'm not absolutely sure at the moment, but at least 8, and no more than 12. Sorry, I can't be more precise at the moment.
No, that's fine. We can accommodate up to 15 people in one session. We have 3 climbing walls. We would put 5 of you on each. You wouldn't all be climbing at the same time. Also, you'd probably need more than one trainer. We would have to provide at least 3 for safety reasons, and that will put the cost up.
I see. Well, I'd like to come back to the cost in a minute, but first, could you tell me how long an afternoon session would be? We hope to have a restaurant booked for the evening at around 7 o'clock.
Oh, you're planning on a great day. Well, usually we start at 1:30 and finish at 5:30. Then you'll probably need half an hour to freshen up afterwards. We have shower rooms, of course, so you'd be out of there by 6.
That should fit in nicely. So could you tell me more about the plan for the afternoon?
Yes, we kick off with a short talk given by our senior trainer. He'll go over the basics of team climbing and inform you about the most important part of climbing safety. This is a fun session. You will be expected to participate, not just sit and listen. That takes 30 minutes, and then you'll be split into groups and go to the climbing walls. You'll first learn a few basic techniques and try them out on the lower part of the wall. The trainer will coach you, and gradually, hopefully by the end of the afternoon, you will all have reached the top of at least one wall. That's the goal anyway.
Sounds great. Okay, so about the cost. How much would it be for, say, 12 of us?
Well, you pay per trainer, so it will be £30 per hour per trainer. You'll have 4 hours in the afternoon, so that's £120 trainer, and 3 trainers, so it would be £360 in total. If there are 12 of you, that's just £30 each for the full afternoon.
I see. Okay, I think that's reasonable. How can I go about booking that?
Well, we don't take bookings over the phone, I'm afraid. You'd have to come in.
I see. Oh, by the way, I wanted to check availability with you. Would we be able to book for the 15th of next month?
Just a second. No problem at all. We've nothing down for that day at the moment.
Oh, excellent. Well, I'll call in next week and make the booking then. Who should I ask for when I come in?
You can ask for me. That's probably easiest. My name's Paul Bradwell Evans.
Sorry, could you spell your surname, please?
Sure, that's Bradwell hyphen Evans. Bradwell Evans.
Okay, that's fine. I'll call in early next week then.
Okay, fine. Can I just take your name, please?
June Kennedy, easy name.
Thanks, and could I just take a contact number?
Sure, my mobile number is 090-2353-4180.
Okay, thanks, June, and I'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Yes. Oh, by the way, sorry, just one final question. We need to bring our own sportswear, do we?
Yes, you do. Something light and comfortable. But we provide your climbing shoes, so you don't have to worry about those.
Okay, if
Okay,
I could
great.
make a start now. First of all, many thanks to you all for coming along this evening. It's really great to see so many of you here. For the newcomers, I'm going to start with a brief description of the club's history. For members, please bear with me for the next few minutes. Perhaps you'd like to listen anyway, if only to make sure I don't make any mistakes. Well, the tennis club was founded by a wealthy gentleman by the name of John Summer back in 1949. The area in which we are standing was in fact John Summer's living room, and the area behind you, on your left, court 1, was in fact his back garden. Yes, at the beginning, that's all there was here, just the one court. The story goes that John Summer loved playing tennis very much, but he could not find anyone locally who knew how to play. So he started to offer lessons, at first free of charge. Apparently he quickly became popular with the local people who had not had the opportunity to learn tennis previously. After 1 year, he was in a position to charge a fee for his lessons, and that's when the club started to grow. Today, there are more than 20 clubs throughout the country, the largest one being here in Harrow. Okay, so that's a brief history. I'd like to move on now to the philosophy of the club. It was John's belief that tennis should be enjoyed and that it should be a social activity as much as a sporting one. The club has always strived to maintain this approach, and that's why you can see we have a very busy social schedule throughout the year. It can sometimes be more tiring than playing tennis. Anyway, every week we email the social programme to you, and there's always a copy on the notice board on the wall over to your right. So perhaps it's about time I spoke to you about the tennis itself. Well, as you may know, in the last 3 months we have expanded the club, and we have now doubled our number of courts to no fewer than 12. 6 of these are grass and the other 6 are all-weather courts. So we now have capacity for new members, and that's why we hope you are here tonight. The courts are available for booking from 10 a.m. in the morning until 9 p.m. At the moment during the summer months. The rest of our year, due to the good old British climate, we close at 8 p.m. To book a court, you first need to become a member and then simply phone reservations, preferably a few days before, to be sure of getting a court. Of course, if you have not played before or not played for some time, you may want to consider taking some lessons with our excellent coaches, and that's what I'd like to turn to now. JS Tennis Club have a great track record when it comes to coaching. Some famous names started their careers with a JS coach, as you can see from the photos on the wall over there. Denton Rowley is our senior coach here at Harrow, and he has over 20 years experience in training people of all ages and levels of ability. Denton also has a strong academic background for tennis coaching. He has an MSc from the University of California. But don't worry, he will never try to blind you with science. In fact, your training does not have to be a strict, serious nature at all. That's one of the great points about the coaching, is that it's extremely flexible. If you want to get serious, then we can get serious with you. On the other hand, if you're only interested in building your confidence for a bit of social tennis, then we're very happy to provide that as well. Basically, we adapt the training to meet your needs. Let me explain a little bit more detail about the coaching. So, how can you choose the best program for yourself? There are several things that are important to bear in mind. For sure, the first and most important one is to decide where you want to get to. It's really important to be clear about this. As the old adage goes, if you don't know where you want to get to, you don't stand much chance of getting there. The second thing, which is extremely important, is to be realistic about the time you have available for tennis training. A lot of people set themselves high goals which they often really want to achieve, but all too often the reality is that they just don't have enough time in their schedule to achieve them. The other thing to be realistic about is your level of fitness. Now, it may sound surprising, but most of us believe that we are much fitter than we actually are. So, if your fitness level doesn't fit with the goals you've set yourself, then again, you may need to allocate time for some fitness training. Okay, one more thing.
Can I talk to you, Lily?
Sure, what's up?
Well, it's about the assignment we have to do together. You know the deadline is in about 8 weeks.
Is it really? We should make a start, yeah?
Absolutely. Have you got time now just to have a look at the question again together?
Yes, okay. So what does it say exactly?
Well, it says we have to consider 2 areas of the leisure industry and discuss the current trends in each, compare and contrast where appropriate.
Yes. So which areas do you think we should choose?
What about the trends in eating out and having friends over for dinner?
Yeah, that could be interesting.
Well, it occurred to me the other day that more and more people seem to be having dinner parties at home and maybe eating out less.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are into cooking these days. Just look at all the cookery programs there are.
Right, so what do you think? Should we settle for that?
Okay. And how are we going to research it?
Well, I think we could use questionnaires.
Sounds good. But we have to make sure we ask the right questions in the right way, yeah?
Absolutely. We also have to get a representative sample.
You mean we have to get responses from a minimum number of people? Not 40 or 50, please.
From the assignment info, it seems we could get away with 15.
Okay, not too bad. Perhaps we should do 20 to be on the safe side.
Yes, I'm sure we've still got time to do 20.
Well, what do you think if we do 10 each? That'll save us some time.
Great. So, what do you think? Have you got time now left to draft the research question?
Okay, just to get an idea of the main question we're trying to answer, you mean?
Exactly. Actually, I wrote one down last night. What do you think?
The aim of this research is to determine the percentage change in the number of people who choose to have dinner parties. Yeah, sounds about right. Do you think we should use the word choose or prefer?
I'm not sure there's a real difference there, but perhaps prefer is clearer.
Yes, I agree. So people who choose... people who prefer to have dinner parties than to eat out.
Okay?
Okay, well, that's great. We seem to have made a good start.
Sure. What about the questions in the questionnaire? What do you think we should include?
Well, first, I think we need something about how often they eat out this year compared to last.
That sounds like a good starting point.
And then we just ask the same question for dinner parties.
Yes, I'm thinking that perhaps we need to give them some options. That would make the data easier to analyse and save us time also when we're asking the questions. What do you think?
Yeah, good idea. So the options could be once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, or more than 3 times a week.
It might be difficult for people to put an exact number on it. How about something like often, quite frequently, from time to time, and seldom?
Yes, that's more subjective, but probably more reasonable, yeah.
Do you think we should also ask people why they prefer dinner parties? And in cases where they do, of course.
Yes, I think that might make it more complete.
So, again, give them a list of options.
Right, so we could put down cost compared to eating out, the enjoyment value, what else? Maybe the comfort factor.
Yeah, that's good. What other reasons do people have for eating at home? Perhaps the wider choice you have if you do the cooking yourself.
Yes, that's a good point. Okay, great. Are we nearly there?
Yes, I think
Hello,
so.
everyone.
Okay,
For those of
we
you
can
who don't know
always-
me, my name's Claire, and I'm very pleased to be with you all today. This is the second workshop on what I believe to be one of the most fascinating topics in the natural world, the coral reefs. Last week, as I'm sure you all remember, we looked at what corals are exactly, the various different types of coral, and then, rather sadly, we finished with the somewhat shocking statistic that by 2050, if no action is taken very soon, we could lose up to 70% of all our coral reefs. Clearly then, it follows that today in this second session we should consider what we can do about this worrying situation, what we can do to protect our coral reefs. Now you may think that living here, many miles away from the sea, it's virtually impossible to do anything whatsoever to protect the coral reefs. Well, nothing could be further from the truth. There is in fact quite a long list of actions which you could take depending on your circumstances and location. When we start to look at some of them, I'm sure you'll see how easy it is for anyone, wherever they live, to make some form of contribution. Let's start then by looking at some of these action points. The first one may come as a big surprise to you. It's very simple and it's something you can do right in your own home. Use less water. How can that possibly help, I hear you ask? Well, by using less water, we generate less wastewater, of course, and less wastewater means less pollution in our oceans. Less pollution in the oceans means that the coral reefs are more likely to be unharmed. The second thing we can do may also come as a bit of a surprise to you. Get on your bikes. Yes, you did hear me correctly. Now, this is also related to pollution, or at least to minimizing it. Fossil fuel emissions from cars and industry can result in ocean warming. Increases in water temperature can lead to mass bleaching of the corals and can even lead to widespread destruction of the reefs. So, if you are able to cut down on your fossil fuel emissions, you are indirectly contributing to the survival of the reefs. The third action is an obvious one. If you've been on the beach, surfing, snorkeling, fishing, or just sunbathing, please clean up properly. Don't leave any form of litter at all, fishing lines or nets on the beach or in the water. These cause pollution, and again that pollution can lead to widespread damage of the reefs. So once again, please tidy up before you leave. And again, if you're in the water, diving or snorkeling, you need to do so in a safe and responsible way. Don't touch the reef and never anchor your boat on the reef. Any contact with the reefs can damage the coral animals which are extremely delicate. In fact, just anchoring your boat on the reef can actually kill it. Would you believe that? So any contact with the reefs is a real no-no. There are just a few more things you can do which you may not have thought about. Firstly, you can plant a tree. Great fun, of course, and not only will you be helping to reduce pollution, but you will also be helping to reverse the warming of our planet and the oceans. If you like this idea, there's some more information and contact details in the handout. I'm afraid the telephone number has in fact changed. Just for quickness, let me read out the new one. So that's 0141 809 466. One more time, that's 0141 809 466. So that replaces the number on the back of that leaflet. Moving on, and on a political level, it's worth trying to speak to your government representative. Ask them what is being done to reduce sewage and pollution in your area. Also, ask them if there are any volunteer programs you can join. Again, these can be great fun, a great way to meet like-minded people, and they don't take up too much of your time either. Usually, it's just a matter of a couple of hours one morning or one afternoon a week. Okay, my final point. Please spread the word to others. Speak to other people about the problems we face and encourage them to take action too. I'm sure they will not need much convincing. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's now get together to discuss